rugby star on the field, right? Rugby star. Well, Southern League. You got into the Southern League, right? You got recruited after doing that tryout. Was that kind of your escape?
Yeah, escape's probably the best word. My dad died when I was 10, and so my mom had a hard job raising 3 boys.
Did you take any breaks from freshman, sophomore, junior?
When I started playing rugby, it was when I went home from Alabama, and that was at UNA. And so I spent a few years there. That's when I was deep on the drugs.
Tell me when you got into drugs. What drugs were they?
So we were playing Vanderbilt one week, and so I dropped my shoulder and I broke my collarbone on a hit, and the doctor gave me a prescription for Oxycontin, and within 5 days I was just hooked.
Did taking that kind of, ease your anxiety, ease any thoughts in regards to that part of you that hurts, and just cover it over so you don't see it?
Yeah. As far as like opioids go, it was definitely an escape for me. That's the thing that I think that people get addicted to the most, is that escaping reality part of it. That, hey, for the next 8 hours, the next 10 hours, I can just be somewhere where I don't feel any of these emotions, any of these thoughts, any of this negativity, and I can just feel like, superhuman.
Right.
And like nothing matters.
How long have you been sober?
So next month it'll be 2 years without a drink or drug. I was completely self-medicating. I would wake up in the morning, I would take Adderall to go to work, drink to socialize, smoke to eat, take Xanax to sleep, take Oxys to numb the pain. I didn't pay rent, so I got evicted from my house. I had a job that I loved at the time. I got fired from that job. And so I lost all my good friends. The only friends I had were the other drug friends that I was using with. I remember living in this abandoned building and just eating out of garbage cans, just doing anything that I could do to stay alive so I could get my next high. Just living to use and using to live. My parents basically sat me down one day and they were like, hey, what do you want out of your life? And I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to help people. And they were like, okay, well, you can't help other people until you help yourself. Those were their exact words, and I'll never forget them. And so they helped me out in that time. They helped me get a bed in rehab, and so went off to rehab and worked in a little golf course across the state. But I was sober, and so it was. I think my mind was starting to come back to me, and I was starting to get healthier again. I lost like 50 pounds. I was starting to get back up to my normal body weight. Someone once described it to me like it's like throwing a blanket over your head, with a bright light is in the room, and you don't want to see that, you don't want to look at that bright light and push it, throw a blanket over your head. It's like getting drunk or taking pills, whatever your drug of choice is. And then, but eventually the next morning, whenever you sober up, that blanket comes off and the light's still on, the problems are still there. That's just the big question for everybody is, when are you going to face your demons? So, once you do that, you realize that the demons aren't as big as you thought they were, and life can get pretty good.
What would you say to somebody who is dealing with, drug addiction, losing a family member, or, just mental illness, depression, anything? Like, what would somebody who's been down that dark path, who didn't want to, see that light, who didn't face their demons at a time. People are trying to face their demons right now, the toughest ones. What would you say to them?
If I learned anything from my journey, it was that, times can get rough, and times can get really rough, but you can't forget why you're here or who you are. Another thing that a family loved, I lost my grandmother about a year into being sober, and that was really tough. Probably the toughest thing I've gone through since being sober. And one of the last things she said to me before she passed away actually was, it's not who you were, it was what you were. It might have been what you were for a time, but it's not who you were. And I think that's a huge difference. And so I think that's probably one of the biggest things is not to lose sight of that that's not who you are. It's just the choices that you're making at the time that you'll either deal with the consequences or the rewards of. It's just what you choose to be, but it's not who you are. It's gonna be a long road, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and things will get better.